Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Elliot Barr, and is joining me are my two wonderful co-hosts, guys that are enjoying the weekend off because we did not have to play a game in the quarterfinals. It's Mr. Matt Myers is Mr. Shadir Durant. The second, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic. I like watching some games without really having any skin in it and just watching to see who we're going to play next.
Yeah, this has been a good weekend for enjoying soccer and letting the heart have some rest because I'm sure come Saturday it's going to get a workout.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be stress-induced. It's going to be like, oh, this is not good fun. Yeah. So for those who don't know, USL quarterfinals happened this weekend. You had Charlotte. Charlotte played Tormenta. That game ended 2-1 under a bevy of controversy. If you haven't checked out that game or watched it yet, I advise you go back to watch it because it was a fun game. But there's a lot of controversy in it. And the game that matters the most to us is the 1-0 Chattanooga win over Union Omaha that went into extra time. And guys, watching this game and knowing how Chattanooga play us, Richmond has their hands full, but I do kind of like their chances a little bit. What do you guys think about Chattanooga being our opponent in the semifinals?
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as an easy game when you get to the semifinals of the playoffs. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous to think that, whoever we're going to get a walkover, to get all the way to the final. It's just not going to happen. But I think Chattanooga is a team with some flaws that this team has the capacity to be able to exploit. So all things considered, getting them on the road. Now, if we had to go to Chattanooga, different story. I'd be a little more worried about things.
Yeah.
But getting them coming to City Stadium, I like the team's chances and a good chance to be able to kind of, exercise some demons from that 2020 game.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. As soon as that Chattanooga Union Omaha game went final in extra time, that was the first thought that popped in my head. It was like, all right, this team gets a chance to fix what happened in 2020. But those who don't remember, in 2020, Richmond literally had to beat Chattanooga to get into the final. Win that game in the final. Doesn't happen. Game is 1-2. Marco Hernandez scores in the last couple of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that goal didn't matter. We had to win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wasn't fun. But hopefully, this time comes Saturday, we have a lot more fun going on. Looking at this Chattanooga team, y'all, it's so weird having to do a preview because we haven't done one in so well because we're always doing reviews and then previews. So weird. So I'm trying to make sure I say this right. Make that layout right in my head. When we look at this Chattanooga team, who are some of the players that stand out to you? For me, it's Galindrez, Mintigan. Who are some guys that stand out to you and why?
Well, a lot of what we saw in this game was I would say there weren't really any major standout players. I mean, of course, Carrera was kind of bossing things in the midfield, but it was basically just hang on while Union Omaha do their passing thing, and try and find something on the other end. In fact, to be honest with you, a couple of their more, lauded players kind of went missing a little bit in this game. When you look at Espinoza, who else? Flores was pretty quiet. Yeah, Flores was also pretty quiet on the right wing. But again, this goes back to they were playing a more conservative game. They were just literally, like I said, letting Union Omaha do their cute passing stuff and not finishing, and waited for their opportunity to pounce.
Yeah, I mean, Espinosa's kind of been one of their consistently better players throughout the entire year in the midfield. He's kind of the equivalent of their Ethan Bryant. I would say really makes a lot of things go. He's got an ugly ass pink hair right now. That's a choice.
You're not feeling the pink, Matt? You wouldn't read the pink hair? I swear that's like the new color because what is it? Arahu for LA Galaxy has it. I think there's like 2 other players that have pink hair now.
I guess it's for like breast cancer awareness month.
Or you just have money and you decide I want to color my hair pink. But I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to cut you off. It just popped in my head when you said that.
I mean, Hoey's playing USL soccer in Chattanooga. He ain't got money, so. But no, he's been really strong for them all year. Galindrez, he scores. His fitness must be absolute crap because I don't know why he doesn't start for them otherwise.
That to me is like the biggest mystery in the world. I do not understand why he doesn't start. But when he comes off the bench, man, I mean, it's smart. It's a smart play by Chattanooga. Like I'm sure he leads the league in goals as a substitute, but when he comes off the bench, man, and he's already going up against tired center backs and whatnot, he plays with a whole different gear,
Yeah, and their defense has gotten a lot stronger the later half of the year since they got a Timmy Mail on. I think it was on loan from Tampa, if I remember correctly. But he's helped to shore up some of their leakiness that they had been prone to earlier on, during the season. So I'd say those are some of their key guys. They're a team with a lot of good to above average players in this league, but maybe they're lacking the pure star, maybe outside of Galindrez.
Yeah, they have like you said, they have a lot of solid parts like Villalobos, Mitigan, Cara, and then like Galindrez. But Galindrez is probably like the star guy if you want to mark a person as that. In terms of how they play, Matt, how would you say this Chattanooga team lines up? Like, how would you say they're looking to start the game off and play within like the midfield?
I mean, I haven't watched a ton of their games all year, but for the most part, I mean, I think they play pretty, I guess what you call say like a classical style in the U.S. Like right now it's kind of that 4-2-3-1 look that a lot of people tend to like. They like to play a physical brand quite a bit too. Like they're not afraid to be able to put their shoulder into somebody and kind of muck it up a little bit. They've done that defensively to really good effect against us over the years, especially in Chattanooga. Really being able to isolate Emmy or isolate whomever we would have up top and just really frustrate our attackers, leading to a lot of attacks having to come down the wings, which isn't necessarily a problem for our current team because that's how we like to attack anyway.
Yeah, it does seem like that's the style of play. Chanel, let me ask you this. Why does Chattanooga midfield give us so many problems? Because it seemed like between their midfield and Tormentor's midfield, it kind of seems like their MO against Richmond is to be as physical as they can and try to create as much chaos as possible.
I think that's that. I think you hit it on the head. I mean, it's that physical aspect. When you look at our 3 central midfielders, the most commonly played, Neil, Ethan, and Zaka, you're looking at 3 that aren't really big in stature, rely more on their technical ability or quickness to and creativity to dominate the midfield. But Chattanooga really they dominate the midfield through physical strength, and they're looking for the physical challenges all over the field, and that kind of clashes with the way the kickers play. I think the best way to avoid that is to basically to avoid the physical battle. Defensively, try and force the ball wide and allow the fullback to capitalize on blocking those crosses and stealing the ball. And when playing through the midfield, when we do have the ball, play quick. Just move the ball around as quickly as you can, and don't allow any of our midfielders to settle on the ball, so that now we're having to worry about a physical battle with whoever's coming to try and pressure the ball off of them. But that is that's their biggest weapon. Their biggest weapon is their physical game.
Yeah, anything you want to say to that, Matt? You were about to say something.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I said. Just the slightly different focus of how our individual guys were affecting it.
I mean, both of you are right. It's kind of like if you watch any part of USL League, well, you kind of know how the Chattanooga team is. You know how they like to attack. What they want to do. In terms of Sawatsky, how does he kind of counter it? Is kind of like the bigger taking point. Before I give my answer, I want to hear from y'all to make sure I'm right. And if I'm not right, I want to correct my answer after hearing y'all two genius to speak.
I mean, doesn't mean we're right either, but but no, I think I touched upon it a little bit briefly. The opportunities end up coming from the wings a lot of times, and conveniently, that's where the overwhelming majority of our attacks come from. So I don't think Darren's going to switch anything around. I think he's going to look for those diagonal pings over to Bolaños. He's going to look for those overlapping runs from Payne. He's going to look for whichever guy's out on the right wing this week to be able to do some work and get in behind, and then hopefully they can be able to make a good play one-on-one, combine up with Emmy with a midfielder and make something happen. This team finished in first place, 5 points clear at the top. I don't think Darren's changing his system at home for the playoffs. No. His philosophy pretty much all year has been, here's what we do, beat us if you can.
Yeah, no. That really is the philosophy of what this team is. It's kind of pretty much like we're going to attack and counterattack anything you throw at us. And I mean, this team leaves a goal scored in points won after giving up the first goal. So this team's been under the gun in a lot of games, been able to turn around and put it in their own favor. So if you're looking at Darren's lineup, we have to assume that Bolaños is going to be back starting on the left wing. Do we think Stu is going to come back into that left back spot, or do we favor more Finch?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let me ask this just to make it easier. If both are healthy, so assuming that both are healthy, who are you leaning more towards for this game?
I think I start with Simon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He gives you more of a physical stature.
Okay.
Yeah, not only that, but knowing that this game could go 120, having Stu coming in, at the end of the game, if we need to be able to chase a goal, that's a nice, piece to be able to bring on to be able to get a little bit more dynamic play, up the left. I mean, based purely on conjecture, I'm guessing Stu would be a better penalty taker at the end of the game than Simon would.
Yeah,
but I don't think either one's a wrong answer.
Okay, I mean, I do like the ability to start off a little bit more defensively, given you have Payne on the other side can get further up and down the field. Have Simon kind of sit back a little bit more, and then throw Stu on if need be. Kind of like, I guess, break in case of emergency status.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he would come on one way or another, but it gives you options on what that looks like when he comes in. Is it hey, we're going to 5 in the back and sliding Simon a little bit inside? Is it hey, we need to chase something and we're putting on anybody with kind of an attacking mindset, and that's why we're going for it. So just flexible options.
Okay, flexible always works. Flexibility is key. Another plot space that has been very flexible is in the kickers lineup is that right wing spot. We know EVD's out, so it's kind of in between. Matt Bentley, Wade Gordon. Who are we favoring in this one?
I'd say Bentley. I'd say Bentley. I like O'Gordon as our super sub. I really like how he comes off the bench and creates a spark. I don't think I think it's safer to start with Bentley. He gives you that solid performance out there, and then maybe later on bring on O'Gordon, and now you have that flair coming in to maybe create a spark if it's something that we need. If it isn't something that we need by the time it's time to sub Bentley off, then I mean, figure do something else. But even when we are in a position of dominance, bringing on O'Gordon is always better than starting with him.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far with he's always better off the bench than starting, but I would agree. I think I want to start with Bentley this week.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think we're kind of agreeing all with each other. No, I mean I like Bentley for what he offers you and whatnot. I think you're right there, like bringing O'Gordon off the bench against tired legs, kind of like our version of Glendrez, works perfectly. And whatnot. Do you think? Do you think there's any chance we'll see? Well, I know Bima. He hasn't. Bima hasn't been in the lineup in the 18 in a long time. If I'm right.
I think he was on. I think he was in the 18 for one of the home games recently, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I was going to say, is there any chance he might get in if we need to get a late goal in or a cross or anything? Or
I mean, I don't know if I would put him because of basically how long it's been since he's seen the field.
yeah,
I don't think a playoff game where everything is on the line is the time to kind of put him back on the field. Be like, yeah, this green thing. Remember this? Can you play on this? Like, I don't think that would be a very good idea.
this green thing. Do you remember this?
I have one exception to this. I can see a logic for including him in the 18, because, and again, this is a complete conjecture piece of it because none of us had ever heard of him before February. I'm guessing he's played in some pressure cooker situations in the past, and if it comes down to penalties, something like that, I gotta think he's somebody who would again be able to take a good penalty. The quality of his cross, and I think that is a skill that translates pretty well to penalty taking a lot of time and the pressure scenario. So I mean I would maybe consider having him on the bench as like a break if necessary 119th minute sub. And maybe this is only in my mind because I was just watching the Pittsburgh Birmingham game that went to penalties right before we logged on, but I could see him having a use in that situation.
Okay, so that's the extreme breaking curse of emergency.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that in any way whatsoever, but
I hope not either. I hope not. I hope we win this game in 90 minutes and we get to relax after the 30th minute. That would do my heart a lot of good. I'm assuming the first sub will probably be Ani coming on, like it's always been. Like I feel like Darren's substitutions are very, like, we kind of all know him by heart now, right?
I mean, I feel like the first sub's going to be, Gordon or Bentley for the other one, probably.
Yeah.
Or if Polonius is in danger of getting himself sent off or something like that, slight chance he could go. But I think you roll the dice on that in this game as opposed to a regular season game.
I don't think there's any chance Darren takes off Emmy, Bolaños, Neil, Ethan, Zaka, unless there is like.
You just don't think he's going to make subs.
Well, okay, I'm saying I don't think he takes them off for like if they have a yellow card. Like I don't think that's the reason he takes them off.
I can see Zaka coming off if we need something. I can see Candela coming on as a more creative six than Zaka is. Zaka is more of your destroyer, solid defensive midfielder, while Vincenzo is will do his defensive midfield duties, but he will bring you a spark. So I think if we're in a situation where we need something, I can see Candela coming on for Zaka.
I just want to say, you are going to be the leader of the Candela church movement. How much you love this man.
Man, we haven't seen him in a while, but I'm just saying, and just in terms of the style of play, I would.
I just think it's far more likely that he'd bring on, Ani and reconfigure, one of him or Dakota up into that spot and kind of push them forward a bit more than Candela in that spot. But I mean, if you look at Darren, that substitution pattern, but he usually does pull off Bryant around 70 to 75. So if we're predicting, why change?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. For Terzaghi, how does Terzaghi get free and open within this game? Because we know Chattanooga's MO is going to be, one, mark him out the game, make sure he doesn't have space to free roam like how he does within the 18-yard box. But then two, he's also going to be keeping a close eye on Bolaños. For Emmy himself, what does he need to do to kind of open up space and make sure that he's a part of this game from the onset?
I mean, I think it's more so what the rest of the team needs to do in order to provide him with that space and late runs. So looking at players like Neil and Ethan coming into the box late, causing panic and causing even for a split second, because that's literally all Terzaghi needs, a split second of a defender losing concentration on him, and he finds that spot. So we need to create that diversion, and that diversion will come from players like Neil and Ethan, because Neil and Ethan have made a name for themselves in USL League One now. I mean, Ethan more so up and coming, but he has, I mean, you just see his performance in the last two regular season games, and it's like, this is a number 8 that is not to be messed with. So
I will say this. On the recent episode of Walking 90, which, by the way, we're doing another live show on Thursday, so check it out. I picked Ethan Bryant as the player that's going to have like the breakthrough performance through the whole tournament. I also, in that same thing, picked Richmond as my underdog pick because I'm selfish. So, yeah.
I mean, you make one good comment and one absolutely horrific comment.
Look, yeah, I know the whole crew of Walking 90 came after me about it, but in my defense, I picked this team because I'm just like, all right, there were a lot of people at first that did not believe in us, that did not pick us, but also like, oh, that's a nice goal. Sorry, I got distracted. I was watching FC Dallas and Austin. But like, there was a lot of people that didn't pick this team to get to where they were supposed to hit the mid-season podcast on Walking 90. But then also, like, how can I say this? Like, this team has thrived when they're the underdog throughout the entire year. Like, giving up a goal in the first couple of minutes, come back and score against Tormenta. The game against NCFC where, we're literally down, 3-1 in the 90th minute and scored, my fault, 2-1 and come back and score 2 goals to win it there. So this team has thrived in underdog. So why not
That's not being an underdog, though.
Yeah, to me it
That's
is.
being a comeback king. That's the difference.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we were underdogs. We were underdogs when we were playing, MLS Charlotte. The game where we went in, clearly not favored. This team finished in first place by 5 clear points in the table. By definition, they cannot possibly be the underdog, of anything right now. Who cares what preseason, said? That's, saying, okay, well, you're a Georgia football fan, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying, oh, Georgia's the underdog because people had Bama number 1. It's nonsense. There's no world where Georgia is an underdog in that scenario because they were the champions.
I live in a world like Bill Belichick where Anybody that says something about us, we will use it as material and go out there and prove it on the field.
Okay, that's different though. That's different. An underdog is when you're not the favorite. That's different than the no one believes in us card that every sports team ever always tries to play up, like, oh, they didn't believe in us, nobody thought we'd be here, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you hear like you said, the Patriots or like Manchester City saying nonsense like that. It doesn't mean they're the underdog. It just means that they're deluded and trying to hype themselves up into something.
All right, maybe I am. You're right. Yeah. Maybe I am. But yeah, I did pick Ethan Bryant as my my surprise player. And when I made that pick with you in mind, just about how you were talking about him on the last podcast about like every game he's gotten like slightly better and controlled games slightly more.
Exactly.
Like to a frightening level.
Yeah, and it's like you don't realize it until you look and you're like in the last game of the regular season and you're like, dang, he's really doing, and you think back and you're like, he's gradually been working up to this level of dominance in the midfield. And it isn't just all of a sudden tonight he tore it up. It's like he's been slowly working towards this all year, all season long. Like if you look at Ethan Bryant's performance from day one, it's literally an upward trajectory all the way up until the last game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm just hoping he can really make a difference in that midfield. And again, going back to what we're talking about with regards to Terzaghi, creating that diversion, creating that other player that the defense has to seriously worry about. Because if we look at most of his goals this season, the couple of goals that he has scored, they have been long range. Mm-hmm. So that creates another worry for the defense. It's like we need to make sure that we have someone who can step out, and when you step out, that creates more space in the box for Terzaghi.
Yeah. Before we move on from Elliot's statements, on Thursday,
we just got to be removed from the podcast for 24 hours.
No, that's different. It's just saying that what you say does not reflect the opinions of me or Chenier. Again, you got to understand words matter here, which is also why I need to bring up you stating that the Kickers don't have that guy on their roster.
No. I never said that. I didn't say that. I didn't say Richmond. I was reading off the sheet that they had. Okay. They said Richmond was the only team with that guy. And I was like, well, that's not true. Every other team has that guy, like you guys have been saying.
Okay.
Our guy is that good.
I misunderstood that one then.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No. Yeah, I was saying Richmond does have that guy, like Emmy and Bolaños. Which, by the way, did you guys see the article done by, was it the Time? No, it was CBS 6. Mm-hmm. They did on Bolaños and Emmy. Have you guys checked that out?
Yep.
I have not.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, they pretty much just talking about their partnership on the field and like how Bolaños helped Emmy, getting accustomed to America and things like that. Like, because I think like early on, Bolaños was his translator at first. Mm-hmm. And whatnot. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, go to CBS 6. It's in the River City Red Army Facebook group. I know that. Which, by the way, like a bunch of people have been joining it. You can just find it out there, and we'll tweet it out as well, so you can check it out. But it's good. Yeah. No, I was saying Richmond does have that guy. Like,
okay. Yeah, I couldn't say. I would love to hear how you would have mentally justified that one.
No, there's no way I can mentally justify that. There's no way I can mentally justify that.
But hey, let's look at something that look, I think I can be on your side a little bit on the nobody's rooting for us element of it. We know damn well the league doesn't want us to win. They want Tormenta to win this league, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
I feel like this might be the one week people actually want us to win because of who we're playing.
Yeah, I feel like this is the one we ever was like, all right, Richmond, go take care of it for us. Given all the stuff that's happened and whatnot, which
why don't we dive into that? So because I'm guessing that the folks listening to this might not be as big of mega nerds as us and following along with Chattanooga Red Wolves Twitter drama.
Well, also this is part of my illustrious hobby of being a USL League One reporter. So Chattanooga's coach, it was tweeted to us.
No, hold on. You got to take a step back if you're going to talk about Chattanooga's official head coach first.
Yeah. So Chattanooga's head coach or interim head coach. James Wheatley.
No, I'm talking about Oblate. Start there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to start there? All right. So what happened? Oblate is suspended definitely from the team from pretty much being an asshat to his players and abusing them. It's kind of shades of what happens in the Yates report. We talked about that in length. So he's suspended. Chattanooga Red Wolves kind of said something about it, but it wasn't until the USL Players Association said something that they came out with a statement. They still have yet to fire him or said anything about what's happening with the past or present players and how they're being treated since.
And it's been what, like 2 or 3 months now?
Yeah, it's been since August. Nothing has happened. The league hasn't said anything about it yet.
Yeah.
The only thing that's happened is that Oblate has been suspended. So since
somehow this guy might be the least publicly problematic guy on the head coaching roster.
Right. Chattanooga is just a source of punishment on this. So the guy that replaced him is Jimmy Weekly. And he, on paper, he's doing a great job there. But if you go to his Twitter page, and it was tweeted to us because I didn't know Chattanooga head coach. I didn't even know his name until someone tweeted. So I was looking, I was like, oh, yeah, that's him. If you went to his likes, they were very, very horny. Very horny likes. Like, pretty much only fangirls. He was liking all that stuff. And then he was tweet out his Cash App, which was more hilarious. So, yeah, it just seemed like for all the stuff that Chattanooga goes through, it was like off the field drama for Chattanooga. The way how this team was formed, you would think this team was crystal clear, but the off the field drama is at a whole nother level over there.
It looks like he's gone back and cleaned up his likes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He cleaned it up after Chip talked to him, called him out on it. And then, Union Omaha Twitter started going at it. The funny thing was, even Ford Madison's main Twitter account made a joke about it, which was hilarious. Like, yeah, man. Chattanooga was getting thrown in the mud. Yeah. It was hilarious.
And hey, let's be fair to the man. He was very equal opportunity. He was not just going for the girls in their prime. He was equal.
No, he wasn't.
He was going for all shapes, sizes, ages, everything.
He was like. And also, if you want to send Coach $1 or something, you can, because he tweeted out his Cash App like a bunch of times.
Oh, that's still there.
Yeah, I don't think that's leaving anytime soon, but that is hilarious. So yeah, that's what's going on over there in Chattanooga. But
if you want to send send a little gift, get them ready for the big game this weekend. Cash App them at Fausto4444. Your man's probably going to be appreciative.
And you're like, why am I getting all these weird Cash App requests? Which, by the way, also never tweet out the word Cash App on Twitter. You will have 1,000 scam bots hitting you up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Never tweet out the word Cash App. Don't do it. Just save yourself the drama. But turning the attention back to us, and when I'm looking at Richmond, we kind of already talked about it, but how are we expecting this game to play out? But what player is going to have to, outside of Bolaños, Terzaghi, Akira, which player and Ethan? I'll take those 4 away from you. Which player on the field or on the bench is going to have the biggest impact for us to make this a win for Richmond?
I mean, if it's to make it a win, then I guess you got to go Neil, because where else are the goals coming from? If you've taken away, you've taken away Bolaños, you've taken away Ethan.
I wouldn't. The way I read this question is who's going to be that spark apart from those guys? Because at the end of the day, I can see Terzaghi putting the ball in the back of the net. I think the player that's gonna need to turn up, apart from the ones you named, I'm thinking Payne, because I think we've seen the best of Payne when we need what am I trying to say? Yeah, we've seen the best of Payne when basically when Bentley's on that wing, because Bentley, because of his stature, because of his build, because of the way he plays, he looks for that turn inside to get involved, to get into the mixer, get involved with the center backs and even the fullbacks, sometimes offensive midfielders of the other team. Payne's overlaps are going to be very, very key with adding more disruption to our attack. And I think that apart from the guys you named, Payne needs to be on point with when he decides to make those runs, when he decides to exploit that space in behind on the outside of Bentley, if Bentley is the one who's starting. And even O'Gordon, because I mean O'Gordon, he's got the footwork, he's got the quickness and the creativity to cut inside and create something. We need that overlap. And I think Payne is going to be our guy.
Yeah, I think, thinking about it too a little bit more, if Zaka plays well, I think this game's going to go well. Yeah, because Rafa Menzigen, Mo Espinoza, they both like to play more centrally, and are midfield attackers. So if Zaka can be on his game, helping to shield Jalen, shield Dakota, kind of be a vacuum cleaner up through the middle, I think we're going to be potentially in really good shape, because that's where all other danger originates.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on it, Matt. That kind of like that base of Zaka, Jalen, and Dakota is going to be really key to how this game goes, because they're going to have to work really tight, really in sync with each other, just because of how, like you said, how Chattanooga wants to bring everything inside, want to play really compressed. They don't want to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does Chattanooga feel really narrow? Because it feels like it's narrow from the camera angle, but is it as narrow as it looks?
I mean, in comparison to us, yes, but
okay.
We
So
also
I mean,
play wide.
So I think like everything that's going in the middle is really going to have to be dependent. I think Zaka's going to have to be on it, which I'm not saying he's not. I'm not afraid that he's not going to be on it. It's just more so the fact of like everything he does is going to be spot on, and Rick is going to ride this game out. I think another thing right before we end, I want to ask you guys this question: the last game that we have with them, 2-2 game in Chattanooga. Do you think that game is going to be more of a reflection of how things are going to go, or is it going to kind of mirror more of the what is it, 3-1 result we had against them at home? Am I looking at it?
I think it was 3-0. I don't think they scored.
Make sure. I just want to double check and make sure before I said this. I thought I did. Yeah, right. 3-0 against Chattanooga. Do you think that 3-0 result is the same Chattanooga team, or do you think we can kind of toss that result out and look more at that 2-2? Because I'm leaning more towards that 2-2 and how, Chattanooga is going to be looking for those set piece opportunities against us, because that seemed to be our Achilles heel at certain moments. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more of the 2-2. Because I'm pulling up the lineup from that game, and I mean, they played not Aviles in the back. They played a few subs in there, like played Bayment up top. That dude ain't gonna play for them on Saturday. Like I said, Saunders was in there. They held off Menzigen and Galindrez, his later subs and everything. So it's not the same team in any way. And that was, I think, in the midst of the Chattanooga's down period as well. So I think what we saw a few weeks ago is certainly going to be more representative. But That was a game we were feeling really good about until we didn't.
Yeah, we felt really good about it until they scored 2 set pieces. And we're just like, all right, a draw is okay. We walked out this week with what was that? That was the same week we played what? Tucson and Union Omaha. We were like, anything out of this week is good.
I think it was even past that. I think that was definitely in the everybody's drawing stage of the season where we were already in first, and just status quo is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you about to say? You about to say something there?
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I do think that this Chattanooga team, with all of the drama that's gone on and off the field throughout the second half of this season, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're going to have a point to prove. They're going to have that against all odds siege mentality.
Yeah, are they underdogs?
Well, I mean, they are a dog, so
yeah.
I guess so. You want to kind of like that.
They are underdogs. They're the 4th seed against the 1.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think, I mean, technically, I mean, they are the underdog. They're the 4th seed, the lowest seed of the Final Four.
You see that? But going into this matchup, we played them 10 times and we've only won 3. Now, granted, the last 2 times we played them at home, we won. So
I'm sure games from 2019 are really relevant.
Yeah, no, I know they're not, but every time we see Chattanooga on the schedule, we're like, all right,
yeah,
if we go get this
that's the thing.
Vaseline,
That's
it's going
why
to be a fight.
I would have. That's why I'm in the mindset of I would have preferred if Union had won. But I feel that we would stand a better chance against Union Omaha than against Chattanooga, because Chattanooga are a tough nut to crack, and they've been a thorn in our side for a long time. And even though this season is completely different from, say, 2 years ago, it's still psychologically there. This Chattanooga team has really been a thorn in our side. So,
well, I mean, and there's one thing this kicker team has done. They have broken almost every curse that's been put in front of them this year, and I hope and I know they will fight diligently to keep that going. It's going to be a good one. I think Saturday's game is also the kickoff time is different. I know that much. It's not 6:30; it's 6:00. So adjust yourselves and make sure you're there earlier. Not expecting 6:30, but 6:00 kickoff. But also like I think they're giving out black T-shirts for the first 1,000 fans, and also is one thing they wanted to be a blackout. I think the other thing too, right?
Whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever.
So we're black.
I mean, I'm already black, so I could just wear my skin color. All right, let me stop. If I get another show banned off air. Any last things for you guys before we wrap up?
Buy your tickets, show up.
Yeah, buy your tickets. You want another sellout?
Yes, let's sell the stadium out. Let's make some noise. And going back to the last regular season game, I was very proud of the fan base, even outside of the Red Army. They were loud. They were interactive. That was the first time that I had heard such noise coming from other sections apart from section O. The last time I've heard noise like that was when Crystal Palace came to play. And so I was really happy to see that. Let's bring that energy. Let's bring twice as much energy as that on Saturday. So we can see these boys to this finals. We need to see them to the finals.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun one, y'all.
And I think the last 5 or 6 years, hopefully, have taught us to not take opportunities like this for granted. We had a long run of success where the team is hosting playoff games nearly every single year, and It's the first time in 8 years that we've had a home playoff game. So, yeah, we might think that we're on the up, but let's not assume that more is coming. Let's get out there, enjoy it, have fun, because you don't know when the next one's coming. And I mean, the next one's coming next week, but
yeah, we were just saying now. Yeah, most definitely. Like, I know this team is going to show everything they got. They're going to show all the heart and compassion they got, and like, I want to be able to wear my Richmond Kickers regular season T-shirt one day, and then our league championship shirt the next. So once again, guys, make sure you get out there. Make sure that you buy your tickets. Make sure that you invite the whole neighborhood out to the game. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a great one. Let's cheer on the Roos because they're going to need it.
Make sure you go listen to our man Elliot, from his stint on the Total Soccer Show. And what was that, Thursday?
Wednesday? Yeah, that was Thursday. Yeah,
he was on there representing with Taylor.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. I was telling him about that. I did, actually. Yeah, that was really cool. Taylor talked about it as well, about just how the whole experience of being a Richmond Kickers fan has been kind of weird over the last couple of years. And I was like, yeah, it's been kind of weird. It's been kind of weird, but now it's kind of getting back to how it used to be. Because, for me, for instance, I didn't see the team ever win a title. I came in 2014, so this is once again my first experience. Like, you talked about it before, but I know the olden days used to be great and fun. And this whole pen is busting my hand. All right, let me stop talking. Let's wrap up the show, guys. As always, listeners, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day for listening to our show, because without you, we couldn't do this show. So for Matt, Shaneer, and me, Yogi, we just want to say thank y'all. We will holler at you guys next week, where we will hopefully be talking about a Kickers win and a final. See you guys next week. Be easy.